Praise God and welcome to my channel, Daughter of Zion 50. And if it's your first time or you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe, share, like, and comment, and God bless you. So today we are continuing with the second part of my testimony. So last week we ended where I was in the ward and everyone was expecting me to die at least that night. And by God's mercy, I didn't die. As the Bible says, I shall not die, I will live to declare the good works of the Lord. And here I am to declare the good works of the Lord. The Lord has done me good. It is marvelous in my eyes. So that night when I got to the ward, I think in the middle of the night, I felt really bad. But I was told later that my body was shutting down. So I was screaming, I'm dying. And everyone came while everyone was listening to me, I just threw myself out of the bed. And I don't know why my bed was so high. I threw myself out of the bed and I was crying because I had cramps everywhere. Like everything was like shutting down. So they came up with medication to relax my muscles. Remember, your heart is a muscle. So they were worried that my heart will, I can get heart attack or something like that. So they gave me medication, and I think they gave me sleeping medication. So I slept. In the morning when I woke up, I'm opening my eyes. Darkness, no light. I couldn't see the light at all. At this moment, there's no figure, nothing. I am blind. And it was Saturday morning. So the doctors came. They were like, how are you? I said, I can't see. Can you not see us? I'm like, I can't see at all. I can't see. And I started crying. I'm like, I can't see you. I can't see you. I can only see, like, I need to work hard so much to see just a figure, but I can't see. And they were like, oh, so what? I asked them, will I be able to see again? They were like, no, we are not sure because we have never come across anything like this. But what we will do, we'll go and get an eye doctor to come and see you. So later, eye doctor came and they were like, no, we don't know if you will see again. Can you imagine? I was so scared. I can only imagine. And I don't know where I got the strength to overcome that fear. Remember, I was not a believer, so there was nowhere for me to run to. And the Bible tells us that if we run to him, he will give us strength. But I didn't have anyone to run to. And everyone who I was running to, the doctors, family members, friends, they were all, they wanted to help, but they couldn't help. So one thing I did, I called my mom. And when I called my mom, you know, them that was 2009. We had them small phones. They are not digital like nowadays. So I remember my mom's number. So I called her and she was like, Mom, I'm dying. She's like, Rebecca, do not confess death. Do not confess death. No, don't give the food to the enemy. So she was like, okay, wait, I'm here with one pastor and the pastor will pray for you. So the pastor prayed for me. And they were like, oh, we had, that pastor had a vision that my coffin was returned. So they started praying few months before. And going back to myself, 2 years earlier, I had a dream. I had a dream that I was in a helicopter and I was taken up. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anyone, but I could hear the voice behind me. But that voice is not a voice of God. It was a really nasty voice. And he was telling me, look down. And I looked down from the helicopter and I see what can I say? Somewhere like a wilderness. And he the forest. It's like a forest. A good word is a forest. It's a forest. And he said to me, look where your grave will be. That's where your grave will be. And I was like, am I dying? He said, yeah, you're dying. I said, no, I can't die. I have young children. He said, how many people die and they have children? Who are you to say that you can't die because you have children? He was really nasty. And I woke up. I was sweating. My heart was pumping. But because I was not a believer, I didn't have the wisdom and understanding. And that's why the Bible says, my people are perishing for lack of knowledge. I didn't have the knowledge of knowing this is a spiritual matter and I need to take spiritual steps to pray against it. So instead of me praying, I started just telling people, random people, everyone I meet, I would tell them. Some were like, but most of them, because they didn't have Christ, they didn't know what to do. Because you are surrounded with the people of your own likeness. So the people at that time, they are all of the same mindset as me. So everyone I tell them, nobody believe in praying. They don't pray. They don't do anything. They don't believe that this is it. This has been declared in the spiritual realm, and it needs to be. It's a stronghold now. It needs to be pulled down. So that's when it started. So I had a dream 2 years ago. My mom my mom's pastor had that vision, like beginning of that year, beginning of 2012. And here it's September, end of September, October. It was 28th of September when I was in hospital. So when I called my mom was 29th of September. So on 29th of September, when I called my mom, she's telling me they had that vision. So she was like, you're not going to die. We are not going to die. And don't say that. Anyway, to cut the long story short, the afternoon, the nurse came who was with me the other night, no, the evening, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you are alive. I didn't sleep." When she went home, the following day, you need to sleep in the afternoon for you to. She said she couldn't sleep. She was just praying for me. Who has asked her to pray for me? And that is how important it is for us to pray for other people. Look at me now. I'm standing here because of the prayer of other people I didn't even know. Where did she get the burden to pray for me? So whenever we have burdens to pray for other people, let us pray for other people, because we do not know. Like me, I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know the importance of praying. So, and it was not a prayer that would have taken me out of that darkness to marvelous light. So I was in hospital, and while I was in hospital, remember, I can't see, I am blind at the time. And because I can't see, I was in pain. The pain was, I can't even tell you, because of that muscle cramp, the whole body. So the whole body, from the head to the toe, was aching so much. I was in so many painkillers. I was in drips. I was in medication to drop down what is it called? The blood sugar. Remember, it was 87.9. So they have this they call weighing machine. If you have seen it, so doctors will come in and out of my ward. I was put in a room by myself because I was at risk with that amount of blood sugar. I mean, it was so risky for me. I was vulnerable to get infection if I'm mixed with other people. Anyway, in few days, my vision started coming back. And I don't know what happened to me. This is how much God is so faithful and so loving. When I was in Tanzania, that's September, beginning of that September. Sorry, it was the year before. The year before, that is when I went to Tanzania, September of the previous year. So I went to get food. In Tanzania, we have this. People from Tanzania will understand. Rose garden. Rose Garden. They cook nice food in the afternoon. So I went to eat food there, and somebody came matching us. They were selling Bibles. And I said, give me the Bible. The person gave me the Bible. I bought the Bible in Rose Garden. It's like a pub, but they have outside area. So I asked my husband, I said, can you bring the Bible? Where I told him where the Bible was. He brought the Bible in, and I opened the Bible, which I've never opened since I bought. And I've never really, apart from Psalm 23, which I was taught since I was little, Psalm 121, and John 3:16. That's the only thing I knew in the Bible. Maybe in knowing Genesis 1, what it talks about, but I didn't know anything else. But I opened the Bible, and I opened Isaiah 18, where God was saying, I am the potter, you are the clay. Can I not do what that potter is doing to you? And I was like, God, I am the clay in your hand. Do what you can do to me. Mold me. Mold me. That is proper the work of Holy Spirit. It's not a human, and I couldn't, like, by myself, I couldn't have prayed that prayer. Remember, I've not been to church since I left my home, my mom's and my dad's home, and I left my mom's and my dad's home 1994, and this was 2009. Imagine, never put my foot on any church unless it's funeral or wedding or something like that, but not going to church just to hear anything or to participate in anything. So I was like, God, if you can mold me like the potter, please mold me. And I started crying. And that cry, God heard that cry. And he saved me. And he delivered me from all my fears. And on that day, things started happening. The doctor came and he was like, oh, and I said to him, he said, oh, let me, that was a doctor, that especially a specialist or consultant for diabetes. And he came and he was like, oh, your diabetes will not disappear. You'll be diabetic for the rest of your life. And because you have kidney problem, you have to be on injections, okay? Because the tablets will not help you. And I was like, am I not gonna get healed? He said, no, you'll never get healed. This is it. You need to accept. I said, no, I'm not gonna accept. God will heal me. I didn't know where I got all that faith and confidence in God who I do not know. But I was like, I will get healed. And he was like, he left. And from that day, God started doing something marvelous. Because on the same day, nurse came to me and he was like, Rebecca, we are moving you to another ward because you are getting a little bit better. There's somebody who came who is very serious, needs this room. So I was taken out of the room to the main ward, but it was like a room of 4 people. So I was there. And while I was there, a few minutes later came another nurse. He said, there is infection going on in the hospital. You need to be careful. Don't touch anything. If you touch anything, don't wash your hands. As soon as she left, I started feeling the symptoms. It's diarrhea out of this world. Vomiting. I was vomiting. There was a nurse. She was South African. She was at the corner of the room. She saw me vomiting. She came running. She was like, my sister, let me help you. She gave me anti sickness, whatever, to help me not to be sick. So she gave me the injection. At the same time, my dad called, and I was like I was like going. If diabetes did not kill me, I thank God it was after that prayer, when I confessed my sin and asked for God's help. I don't know if I didn't do that, if I would have been alive today, because that thing was so powerful. Given the fact I was already weak with diabetes. You know, diabetes causes you to be so weak because it was still high. I was still on that weighing machine. So started diarrhea, bad, vomiting. We were going to the toilet because now I was with 4 people. We are going to the toilet. While you're on the toilet, somebody is knocking. Everyone is sick in that ward. Anyway, God is so good. I was healed. And I got out of the hospital, but so weak because I went to the hospital. My what is it called? My kidney function was around 25 at the time, and the doctors were telling me if it continued to be 25, not going down, you'll be fine. You won't need any treatment for that, but we need to make sure it remains 25. But because of diabetes, oh my God, my thing went back to 15. My kidney function. So I had to see a kidney doctor, and he had to be like sometimes we need to pray for these doctors because sometimes you feel like they are happy to see you suffering. He was like, he had a chart and he was like, this is the chart, this is where you are. This year, this is 20, now it is this, it was this, around November now, November 2012. It's like 2012, November, you are here. Now it will go this, you will go this. By 2013, you will have the whatever. You giving me bad report. But because I'm so young Christian, I don't know how to pray. I was like, no, it won't happen, but I don't have any word to back me up. So he predicted, he was like, by 2013, you will not have kidney function will be 0. You will need either transplant or you'll be on dialysis. So we left there, defeated, me and my husband. Went home, there's no hope. Coming home, I have a bag of drugs. This much, them bags we go for grocery, that big bag. I take injection for diabetes 4 times. There's one in the morning, 6 o'clock, and then 5. One in the morning, 6 o'clock, and then you have 3 each time before you eat. Okay, if you eat 3 times, you take the injection 3 times, and then you have 1 to go to bed with. And in the meantime, I will check my blood sugar. The average level was 25 most of the time. So I was really bad. So I was like, God, at this time now, I learned how to pray, small prayers, but they were effective because they were backed up with faith. I'm reading my Bible. I'm like, God, I don't want this diabetes. You have to heal me with this diabetes. And one day I woke up, I'm like, no, I'm going to fast and pray for 40 days. I'm telling my husband I'm fasting and praying for 40 days. My husband is like, no, you can't do this. You are sick, you need to consult your doctor. Saying, no, I'm not consulting anyone, I'm praying. So I fasted and prayed for 40 days. Remember at the time I was doing exams, those who know, I was doing professional exam for accounting, ACCA, and I was in the last level. So I have missed 1 month of training because I was in hospital, and in November it's exams. So I said, I am not gonna cancel these exams. I'm going to do them. 3 subjects. So I went to the exams. Went to the exams. I did the first paper, was okay. I was fine with the second paper was okay. The third paper was so difficult. I cannot tell you. It was so difficult. So at the end of the paper, so one thing with the injection, it makes your blood sugar goes. Sometimes it goes to 3, which is very low, and you can collapse. 2, sometimes 1, you can collapse. So you are always advised to have some sweet stuff in your bag to help you if you collapse. So I went to the exam. By the time they tell us, put the pen down, I felt so bad. I felt that thing of collapsing because I've collapsed before. I know the the symptoms. So I said to my neighbor, I said, I am diabetic and I feel like I'm collapsing. And I collapsed. How God is so faithful. The invigilator, the main invigilator, was diabetic. So she came in. The guy told her that she said she's diabetic. So they took the uh, chocolate and put it on my mouth. At the same time, they tried to put the drink on my mouth and just small sugar. And I was conscious again. So they were like, okay, sit here. After collapsing, you are so tired. I was so tired. But you know, here in UK, when you have exam like that, the ambulance is always outside. So the ambulance people came, they check on me, I was okay. They were like, you want to go to hospital? I was like, man, going to the hospital. And I was in the other part of the city. It will be too much. I said, no, I don't want to go to hospital. I'll go home if I'm okay. At this time, my blood sugar went up. So I took a taxi. I went home, got home, feel really bad. And because I was new on medication, I was like, oh, let me go to hospital. So they went and checked me. It was okay. Now, the story was this woman, because she was diabetic, she was like, oh, I'm going to write to ACCA. This is so serious. It's so serious. So she wrote to ACCA that I collapsed in the middle of the exams. And even if I collapse at the end, but it means the symptoms started early. And one of the symptoms before you collapse is confusion. So to be honest, maybe that's why I felt the exam was too difficult. Maybe I was confused the whole time in the exam. So the woman wrote, and then she asked me, she said, you need to write as well to ACCA. So I wrote to ACCA. You know what they say? They say you have gone through a lot. So we'll just, when we are marking your exam, we'll consider that you are not well on that exam. And I passed. Thank be to God. God put people in their place at the right time, in the right place. So coming back now, I was so I went after being told that my blood my thingy is going down, so we need to get prepared for dialysis and even for transplant, because that will be the end of, there is nothing they can no more do. So I have not told you some of the medication. After getting out of hospital, they tried some other medication. So before we start dialysis, when I was still 15, they started some other medication first to see if they can I can recover some of my kidney function. And this medication, one of them made me to have diarrhea like 20 times a day. And this medication, one tablet, was costing National Health Services £45 per tablet. And each tablet I take 3, 1 times 3 a day. So before they give you that medication, because it's expensive, they have to go to a committee to see, is there cost benefit analysis. They do cost benefit analysis to see if it will benefit you to use it. And if I was like maybe 90, 95, they would say, what's the point? So because you are young, you are working, you are doing this, you have young children, all these things help you. I mean, they're in your favor. And also remember, this time I'm trusting God. So God gave me favor and I got the medication. But the medication made me sick. I was so sick. And I'm telling them I have diarrhea. They're like, okay. Nobody really took notice of what I was going through. It went for like 2 months, to the point where I couldn't eat. Like the food was so bad in my mouth. It's like eating cardboard. I lost appetite. I lost weight. You know, I'm tall. So my weight, my normal weight, for me to look good, my weight is, I like to be 71. I look good. Not too big, not too small. But anything under 71, I look weird. and I got to 59. I was so sick. If you see me in the street, you will know this girl is sick, even if you don't know me. So one day I went to the hospital, and before you get to see a doctor, they tell you to weigh, to go to a nurse for weighing. And it wasn't even a nurse, it was a care assistant. And she weighed me. She said, "Why are you losing weight so much?" I said, "I am having diarrhea every day, like 20 times or more." And she said, "It's the medication. It's the medication." And I was like, "How come nobody told me?" So I went to the doctor and I was like, "Doctor, the carer said this." He's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah." It's like the devil was making people forget me. And these are the prayers we need to pray, asking God to make people alert for you, people to come to your side, people to help you, God to give destiny helpers. So I was not getting destiny helpers. I was getting destiny destroyers. They are there. Even if they were not intending to do that, but that was happening. They were not helping me to move forward. And then they realized even my cells in the body, they were so small to the point that I was not getting enough oxygen for my body. That's why I was so tired all the time. I will sleep all day, 13, 14 hours. I'm in bed. Remember, at this time, I have finished my course. And oh my God, I thank God. I thank God I'm alive to just now it's like a story. But to tell you the truth, I don't know how I got through this period. There is a saying which I'm going to finish. There's a guy who died and went to heaven, and God was showing him his walk when he was on earth. And the way God showed him, he's like walking in the sand, on the sand in a beach. And he could see four steps. But at certain places, he would see two steps and say, "God, where were you? I can only see my steps." He said, "No, those are my steps. I carried you in your shoulder." That's what I feel. Now looking back, the pain, the agony, the everything I was going through, I don't know how I got through. I am convinced that God carried me in his shoulder. Without that, I wouldn't be here. So that is the second part of my testimony. If you're blessed, please subscribe, share, like, and comment, and God bless you. I will continue with the third part next time. God bless you.